Okay. Of all the Smash Bros characters in the product currently, I feel like rather than oversaturating the roster with characters that few people resonate with, to trim some fat. Why would I want to make cuts to this roster? Reason number 1, to make the roster more evergreen as a whole. The second reason is to make room for characters that are either relevant or evergreen, so that the development team would have more time to develop characters that matter, rather than invest time on Roy and other characters that people know about just from Smash Bros alone. And the third reason, the Echo Fighter concept, should either be reworked or cut entirely. We should be able to modify characters in other ways, rather than make a female Marth with a different functioning sword, one of the most specific things you would ever do with an existing character I've heard of. So here we go. Firstly, I'll get rid of every single Fire Emblem character, except for 2. There is no need for 8. Sakurai can make all the petty excuses he wants, but there is no benefit for the product, or for Fire Emblem's product for that matter, to have more characters than Zelda. These are characters that intelligent systems never touch anymore, so what Smash Bros fanboy would not buy this game if Ike weren't a character? To keep things evergreen, the only 2 characters from Fire Emblem should be Marth and the most recent character. That seems fair. Next, let's scrap just a couple of Pokémon. Yes, it's a massive series, but some of these Pokémon just feel excessive and a waste of roster space. Firstly, Jigglypuff I feel should go. There are some arguments to be made to keep her, such as her properties being unique. She definitely feels unique when I play as her. What I don't care for is keeping her forever when there's Pikachu. Can Jigglypuff appear in some other capacity in the product? Absolutely. I'm just not sure about her still being a playable character. Next is Pichu. Why have Pichu when there's Pikachu? It's not like having Bowser and Bowser Jr. who are 2 different characters, this is like Bowser and half of a Bowser. And it hurts itself with hardly any compensation for it. Last but not least, Greninja. Already obsolete. Now for some Mario characters. And I know it's going to be hard, but I have 2 that I am going to cut. Piranha Plant and Rosalina. I thought Piranha Plant played very nicely, but let's be honest, he's a basic Mario enemy. It's not about who I want to keep, but who I wouldn't mind parting with. Piranha Plant is just not essential when there are other Mario characters who still aren't playable characters. And then there's Rosalina. I had to make a choice between Bowser Jr. and Rosalina. Rosalina just has more flaws than advantages. Having to control Luma is just a nightmare, her special moves are weak and useless, she's slow, she's weak, I've tried to use her, and I just can't get used to her. I'd rather have a character that serves more purpose. So, we've already knocked out 11 characters, and I'm only getting started. Time to pick off individual characters now. Zero Suit Samus. Just know. Metroid has 4 characters, and there's no point in having 3 of them named Samus. Yes, I see the appeal in her character, she's light, quick, and combative, but I just see her nowadays as a cost-free version of a blonde ponytailed woman. Rachel from Ninja Gaiden, Nina from Tekken, Sonya Blade from Mortal Kombat. I get it, none of those women are quite as popular as Samus, but at the same time, let's stop giving 2 character slots to 1 character. Oh, and did I mention let's not give 2 character slots to 1 character? On to the next. Young Link, gone. There's not much to say about this one. We already have an alternate Link, and he seems fairly different enough. Who's next? Who else but Bayonetta? Why? For what reason is she an absolute must when she's made so little impact that Sega didn't even want to publish her sequel? Bayonetta 2 sales for Wii U were atrocious by the time Sakurai made the decision to put her in the product. Is there anybody you know that bought the product solely for her? Plus she's broken beyond belief, so I definitely wouldn't miss her. Dark Pit. Another character that nobody asked for, but Sakurai insists is a Nintendo All-Star. If you want a Kid Icarus character, Medusa's available, the Eggplant Wizard's available, or any other character that Sakurai may want to shove in our faces. Do I want to get rid of Palutena? Yes. She is not character worthy. Originally, I was going to type, let's just keep her and pretend she's Medusa, but I have to follow my own rules here. So who's next? Let's cut Lucas. I know it may sound heartbreaking for me to get rid of him, but he's just not evergreen. He starred in Mother 3, which was a Japanese-only game, and I would not be sad if he was cut for good. I have no emotional attachment to this character, unless you're a Lucas main, I'm sure nobody does. At this point, Ness is enough. I have to cut the Duck Hunt dog. Like Jigglypuff, he should be in Smash Bros. In some capacity aside from being a playable character. Just not ideal for a marketable character, in my opinion. Sakurai accounts his commercial success for inclusion. Wow, a rare remark by Sakurai indeed. But let's be real, there were many factors to how Duck Hunt sold tens of millions of copies, and none of them had to do with the dog. If Duck Hunt had a main protagonist that was playable, then I'd find it more believable. Next is Mr. Touch and Go, Mr. Scratch and Sniff, whatever you want to call him. The reason why I would cut Mr. Game & Watch is a pretty unique one. It's how the game is built in order for him to exist. He is a 3D textureless model that is pressed into 2D. It is not possible for textured 2D characters to exist, so the only other characters you can have that are 2D would have to be textureless like he is. And this has been a problem for one character in particular. Paper Mario. Is it worth cutting Mr. Game & Watch in order to take some steps back, in order to make Paper Mario easier to include? I say yes. Okay, so why do I want Ken gone? I just find Akuma to be more interesting. Plus he's become more popular over the years. I see those large bead necklaces in a lot of places, and they are becoming more common in black culture for some reason. But if Smash Bros. Were to do away with Echo Fighters altogether, then Ken wouldn't be that hard to let go of. And if there is no reason for Ken to stay, there is no reason for Richard Belmont to stay. I believe he's a character just to flesh out that Echo Fighter concept that Sakurai didn't even honor in DLC. Not even Hero from Dragon Quest had Echo Fighters or the ARMS characters. I just have to ask, why do we need Wii Fit Trainer? How does this character garner interest in Smash Bros? Nobody even wanted a Wii Fit Trainer amiibo. This just happens to be the avatar character to help a person exercise just like the multiple avatars in Ring Fit Adventure. Not only that, but what is Nintendo supposed to do with the character at this point? There are 2 DLC characters in Ultimate that I would be cutting, and you already know who one of them are. Just what a mistake this is. Risking so much just to get so little in return. Incredibly out of touch considering all the opportunities that Microsoft has tried to do in order to leech of Nintendo's success. Name one person that bought Smash Bros. For this character. Name one. The other character might be surprising to some, but it's Joker. Joker was a smart choice for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The timing was right, the place was right, and no other Persona games were on Switch at the time. Why I'm cutting him though has to do with the future of Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. Yep, you see, if they are going to make a Persona 6, then Joker likely wouldn't be part of it, and what if Persona 6 were even more successful than Persona 5? There's nothing for sure to say that Joker will or won't be relevant by the time the next Smash Bros. Game comes out, but I have the impression that he won't be. Okay, so that is 56. Before I end the video, I'm going to explain why I kept around a couple of these characters. For Ice Climbers, I contemplated back and forth to decide whether or not to keep them. If I were to cut them, then the only Nintendo retro-centric character left would be Rob. Plus, they are the only ice-themed characters on the roster. It wasn't that easy to keep them, but I did. For Isabelle, Animal Crossing is simple and extraordinary series for Nintendo. It's completely fine for there to be 2 characters. For Sheik, I also had thoughts about dropping her. If there happens to be a new Zelda character, then yes, she would be on the chopping block. Probably Impa. For Rob, Nintendo seems to respect it a lot, more so than the Duck Hunt dog and Mr. Scratch and Sniff. For Min Min, Springman's just a more marketable character, but if there happens to be another ARMS character, then let's consider cutting her another time. For Daisy and Dark Samus, I'd like them to be her own characters rather than Echo Fighters. For Incineroar and Lucario, I didn't want to cut too many Pokémon characters. But if there happens to be a new Pokémon as DLC, then they should be considered obsolete. For the Miis, I just didn't think it was a good idea to cut them. Those Mii outfits reveals are like the best parts of those Sakurai directs nowadays.